Welcome, everybody. It's been a wild day, and it'll be the start of a wild 8-day stretch. But we're live. Race 3 of the TWIGI iRacing series for 2023 brings us to the desert. Welcome to Phoenix Raceway. It is a mile unlike any other. It's not the Magic Mile, it's not the Monster Mile, but it is something special here tonight, and it's going to be something we will see routinely 5 times over the next 8 days. So we hope you all join us here this evening. I'm Carmen Hardy. Alongside me, typically I'd have somebody, but it's just me tonight. Weather has thrown everything for a loop, but we're here and we're going to have a lot of fun here tonight at Phoenix Raceway in a mile-long oval. Again, it's unlike anything else. It's not like New Hampshire. It's not like Milwaukee. It's not like Dover. It's a completely different atmosphere here. 29 cars here to set the stage. Starting grid for tonight's race, as everyone gets ready to grid up and ready to go. It is Alec Daffin on the front row alongside Luke Knupp. Jacob Elkins, Brady Weileman make up row number 2. Josh Siegfried and Chris Howell make up row number 3. Then Merrick Watchorn and Thomas Lane will occupy row number 4. Ian Ogden, John Ledger in row 5, followed by Brennan Gregg and Jason Branch in the 6th row of the grid. Looking down the order, again, 29 cars in this field. A lot of cars will be taken to the track here around this hot mile-long racetrack. Doug Betts, Alex Martin. Alex Martin on debut. Qualifying top out of the field, sitting on the outside of row 7. Kyle Smith finished top 5 a week ago in Atlanta. He'll start 15th alongside Dennis Crosby. James Thompson, another debutant, starting alongside John Bowaldo Jr. James Wurtzema, our Daytona race winner 2 weeks ago, starts alongside Harley Barletta. James Mugen and Brad Slagle will make up row number 11. Doug Tuttle, Jack Stanley in row number 8. Or, excuse me, row number 12. Looking at the rest of the field, Gary Huffines, Joshua Jernigan, Josh Berry, Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez, and John Holliday make up this 29-car field. Cars will begin rolling. Again, it's Daffin and Knupp at the front of the field. So we will find out shortly what they can do. Pace car pulls off. They'll go to the restart zone here. But here we go. Oh, trouble there for Luke Knupp. They have waved it off. They have waved off the start here. We'll go for another lap. So we'll go for one more time. Daffin, Knupp, Siegfried, and Weileman, top 4. As we get ready to go. Through the Geico restart zone. And the Hades 200 is underway from Phoenix. Caution's out. For the first time, it's for Dennis Crosby at the back of the field. Crosby, and it looks like Brad Slagle's involved as well. And here's why. Oh, just a really big sin by Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez, with Slagle getting into it as well as Jack Stanley. Hard hit there by Dennis Crosby. We'll have to take a look here from Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez, who takes a wild hit here. Yeah, just sends it in way too deep there on the 22 of Crosby. Buwalda did a really good job getting through that. But Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez drawing the first accident of the race. Dennis Crosby, 5 7th-place finishes. Right now he sits in the 26th position. So a lot of work for him to do. Dennis Crosby's going to come down pit lane. Moving into the front of the field, it's Staffen, Siegfried, Knupp, Watchhorn, and Weileman in the top of the field. So you're ready to go racing here. Alrighty, everyone getting situated in. It's Staffen, Siegfried, Knupp, Watchhorn, Weileman, and Ogden in the top 6. Powell, Gregg, Lane, and Ledger round out the top 10. So let's try this again. 29 cars. Let's get at it. To the restart zone, we're green once again. Caution once more. And it's another big one. Buwalda's got a piece of it. Buwalda's missing a lot of his rear end. Josh Berry, Alex Martin, Slagle, Crosby involved again. Josh Berry's at the toe. And here's why. Looking at Josh Berry in the 17. Oh. Oh, a hard hit by Alex Martin. That was Alex Martin in the 92. and Alex Martin was able to get away from that. I'm on board with Alex Martin because he doesn't expect this at all. On board with Josh Berry. This is the restart. Berry goes to the apron. And Forrest just comes right back up in front of John Bualta, who was already in that space. And you see, obviously, there's the drawn contact. Vicious hits all the way around. So Bualta having a rough start to his race now as well. Berry and Stanley still in pit lane. Looks like Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez is out of this race. There's Crosby letting cars go by here. Josh Berry about to come out of pit lane. Jack Stanley still in pit lane. Alright, so second quick caution in succession. This time for an accident created by a collision between Josh Berry, John Bualta, and Alex Martin. We're about to go back to racing here. It's Staffen, Knupp, Watchorn, Weileman, Siegfried, Ogden, Howell, Lane, Gregg, and Ledger in the top 10. See if we can let it settle here through the restart zone. And away we go. First couple laps under green here. After two quick cautions in a row, Jack Stanley rolling around the apron. He is still wounded, as you can tell, by the missing hood on that number 95. Merrick Watchorn, 16-time race winner, won last week at Atlanta. Looking to make it 17 race wins in his career here in the TWIGI iRacing Series, but he's got to chase down the driver that won the season finale last season, Alex Daffin. Daffin has one career victory in this series. Looking to prove himself in the higher echelons of competition. Watchorn trying to chase down Daffin here. Watchorn using the apron, Daffin not. Siegfried sitting in third, doing a good job. First race of the season for him for JW Motorsports. And then number 10, Brady Weileman for Summit Esports sits in the fourth spot, ahead of teammate Luke Canup. So Luke Canup doing a good job there. First race of the season for him, and then number 1 machine battling with this teammate as they go through turns 3 and 4. Move Canup up to 4th. Ian Ogden in 6th, ahead of Jason Branch. Chris Howell in 8th, Thomas Lane in 9th, Brennan Gregg sitting in the top 10, battling with Thomas Lane Jr. Lane making his first start in the season, coming from the IEL Truck Series, which runs on Saturday evenings. Right now he's going to drop down to 11th, losing some spots here as the racing begins to find a rhythm and a tempo. Kyle Smith, who was part of that incredible battle at Atlanta a week ago, trying to claw his way into the top 10. James Thompson in 12th place. Thomas Lane in 13th now, having just tagged the wall a little bit out of turn 2. Doug Betts in 14th. Doug Tuttle in 15th. Then it's Harley Barletta in 16th. Gary Huffings in 17th. James Wurtsema in 18th, up a spot from where he started. James Mugen in 19th in the 007. Alex Martin in 20th, trying to recover after being taken out early in this race. Same with Dennis Crosby, who sits 21st, ahead of John Buwalda, still wounded, in the number 5. Brad Slagle in the 052, sitting in the 23rd position. You see both of them missing their rear bumpers. As we watch the field roll through turns 3 and 4, beginning to find everyone stretching out a little bit, similar to what we saw at Atlanta. Once you let the drivers race a little bit, the ebb and flow will begin. Merrick Watchorn staying and giving pressure to Daffin here. Watchorn sitting in that second spot. We'll go on board with him here. Use the driver cam. Running on board the 91, 16 career victories, including last week at Atlanta. Outraced Daffin, as Daffin ended up falling off the podium late in that race. Watchorn wants to do it again. Start off the season with like a win at the Clash at Southern National. Third race of the season. What a statement it would be for Watchorn to kick off the season with 2 wins in 3 races, points-wise. And with him being at a variety of tracks, with Atlanta being a 1.5 miles that required a lot of tire saving and management, and here at Phoenix, I was right on board with him chasing down the 48. A little bit further back, there is a battle here. Jason Branch battling with Ian Ogden and Christopher Howell. Ogden in the 21. See, they're off to the right side. And one thing we'll notice with this driver cam, when they take the dog leg, it's a lot bumpier. You'll see the bumps and how the driver adjusts to those bumps getting back onto the racing surface. But Jason Branch trying to make something happen here. Battling for that 6th spot. A little further down, Thomas Lane Jr. right on board with him for a second. Number 28. A little bit of contact from that damage. A little bit of damage from the contact with the wall earlier, I should say. We are coming to be an 8th away through this race. Once these laps begin, they start clicking off pretty quickly. 29 second lap times. You're running 2 laps a minute here in these cars. Fastest lap of 27.81 by Watchhorn. But he's falling down to 15th place. As Luke Knupp tries to chase down Josh Siegfried. Actually, excuse me, Luke Knupp's trying to stay away from Brady Weileman. It's still the battle for 4th place. Siegfried's still a little bit up the road. Siegfried a bit on his own there in the 3rd position, but not a bad place to be as a car limps around on the apron. They will stay out of the way thereabouts. Not sure who that is. Cars have gone a lap down early. First car a lap down is the 9 of Jacob Elkins down in 24th. As they're trying to manage traffic here. Lap traffic beginning to be an issue. A lot of wounded cars. Slagle in the 052, one of them. Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez in the 24, back up and running. Traffic's given Daffin double what the gap was. It's now almost 7/10. It was 3/10 just a few laps ago. Weileman trying to claw that gap back in. It's expanded to almost 0.8 of a second here. Laps in. Siegfried sitting in 3rd. Weileman sitting in 2nd. Behind Alec Daffin. Brady Weileman in that 4th spot. Back ahead of his teammate Luke Knupp. Summit Esports doing a pretty good job right now. 4th and 5th for that team. Ahead of Jason Branch for 4X Racing. Yeah, Ian Ogden in the 21 sitting in 7th. Chris Hallen in the 88 sitting in 8th. Brendan Gregg for Ascent Racing sitting in 9th. Ahead of Kyle Smith, who's made his way into the top 10. Doing a great job so far. Racing beginning to spread out here. Everyone getting into a rhythm. We had a couple of quick cautions early on in this event, but it has settled down, and now it looks like we're going to be a lot closer to seeing our first round of green flag pit stops here at Phoenix. Again, this is the first of what will be 5 broadcasts we do here at Phoenix. We'll be in Bristol tomorrow night for the ARCS SNS series, Saturday Night Showdown series for them and the trucks. We'll go to Las Vegas Sunday evening for the ARCS Darkside Mustangs A-Square Cup Series season. But then, Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night, and then next Sunday night, we'll be back here at Phoenix. So it's a pretty cemented West Coast swing between Las Vegas and Phoenix. Of course, a lot of our friends here on AVN over in Las Vegas at the moment, getting ready for Screen to Speed tomorrow afternoon. To everyone that's over there, if you're not watching this or if you see this later, congratulations on making it to the Screen to Speed live competition. We're rooting for you, we're cheering for you. Go and make the most of it. But for everyone here at Phoenix right now, they're just trying to make the most of what they've got position-wise. Obviously, the positions were shaken up with those first 2 early yellows. Watchorn up 5 spots and where he qualified. Caution's out. James Mugen. He is spun around. That is out of turn 4. Trying to get rolling there in that 007 machine. Let's see what happened to Josh Mugen. Coming down the back straight away. It is Dennis Cross. Oh, just a slide on his own there. And just close enough to be in traffic there to cause the caution. So Mugen's going to come down pit lane, as will just about everyone else in this field. Daffin, Watchorn, Siegfried, Weileman, Knupp. For Weileman, that's a godsend. Well, really for Watchorn, it's a godsend. Being able to close that gap to Daffin, get some fresh tires, and try to reset here. Luke Knupp qualified second. Thomas Lane stays out, interestingly enough. Watchorn rolling from pit lane. He will not beat Daffin out. Weileman will beat Knupp out. Knupp has a longer pit stop. Weileman beats out Siegfried. Knupp has a longer pit stop. Ogden in the 21. Gregg, Smith, and Branch round out the top 10, with Thomas Lane just now coming down pit lane here. So the leaders will go by, and that will promote John Ledger to 10th place. You ready to go? Double file here. Wave around's happening. So let's get back to it. Third caution of the night on lap 38 for a spin involving James Mugen. Gives everyone a chance to reset and go back at it once again here at Phoenix. We're on lap 41, coming to lap 42 of 200 here. It's the Hades 200. Race 3 of the TWIGI iRacing Series season. Daffin, Watchorn, Weileman, Siegfried, Knupp, Ogden, Greg, Branch, Barletta, and Ledger top 10. You see the cars in this field, all 29 of them. As we come towards the restart zone, green flag back in the air, and we are underway once again at Phoenix. Weileman trying to get a jump on Watchorn, using that dog leg, and already a quick caution, and you see the smoke. It's Doug Betts. Fourth caution of the night in quick succession for the number 3. Doug Betts trying to limp back around. But here we go. We'll take a look at it. On the restart, what happens to the 3 at Doug Betts? Ooh, contact. That is with Thompson. James Thompson there, the 61. And that could have been a lot worse, but it wasn't. Betts was thinking that Thompson was going to use the dog leg, and he didn't. Yeah, he just comes... Betts just kind of comes down, not realizing that Thompson's still there. And you see the damage that that does to Thompson's right front. Let's see, a look at it here. We'll look at this restart a little bit more. Doug Betts in the 3, off to the right-hand side. Betts thinks that Thompson's going to take the dog leg, and he doesn't. Simple 2 drivers going for the same piece of real estate, and unfortunately the 3 lost out the most there. In that process, Weileman did take second away from Eric Watchorn, so Watchorn down to 3rd now. Here we are getting ready to restart for the 4th time in this race for a spin of Doug Betts off the nose of James Thompson here. Thompson staying in the 12th spot. So the damage, I don't think, is affecting him too awful much, or he hasn't figured out if it has or not. Did not come down to pit lane to get it repaired. Doug Betts down in 20th. Here we go. Pace car pulls into pit lane, and it's a long back straightaway wait until he gets to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Everyone fans out as they go through the bus stop. Watchorn wants that second place back, and he's going to get it back as they spin behind. And that's Ian Ogden, and that's a hard hit for Barletta, and there's a big one. Multiple cars involved. Count the names here. Barletta, Ogden, Branch, Martin, Huffing, Slagle, Barry, Buwalda, Jernigan, Stanley. All involved. So the fifth caution of the night here. Obviously, you're looking at Ian Ogden a little bit further back. We'll look to see how this started, because we're expecting a lot of pit stops here. And it starts off here on this restart. We'll see if we can go to our blimp cam. A little bit of contact there. That was Brennan Gregg that got into the back of Ogden. And you see the chaos as it spills out. We'll slow it down here. Ogden gets spun by Brennan Gregg as Barletta drifts up the track. And nowhere for some of these drivers to go. Barletta takes a hard hit in that 81. See him go into a pirouette. There's the 11 of Jason Branch involved. 54 of Gary Huffing's involved. Doug Betts gets lucky and avoids most of this. Unfortunately, John Buwalda not so lucky. Joshua Jernigan seems to get pretty lucky here as well, coming to a stop before getting involved in everything here. But it closes up quickly when you run out of track real estate. Green flag back in the air, and away we go for the fifth restart tonight. little bit of latency there from Josh Siegfried in the number 10. At the front, Watchorn has taken second place back. Luke Knup's taken third place away from Weileman. Siegfried back where he started in fifth. There's a car, and it's John Ledger that's had problems. And he's tagged the wall. And he's going to not come down pit lane. He's going to stay out. Daffin leads ahead of Watchorn and Knupp. Watchorn trying to chase down Daffin here. Knupp in third, Weileman in fourth, Siegfried in fifth, Brennan Gregg in the sixth position. Brennan Gregg trying to defend from Christopher Howell. Gotta be difficult for Weileman to race with Siegfried, knowing that Siegfried's having the latency issues that he's having there in the number 10 machine. But Siegfried makes the most of it and gets up to fourth place. Brennan Gregg still defending from Chris Howell. James Thompson in 8th place on debut. Good job for him so far. Kyle Smith in the 9th spot here at Phoenix so far. Top 5 finish last week at Atlanta. Looking for just a little bit more here tonight. Thomas Lane back in the top 10. Started this race in 8th. Slid all the way down to 17th. But cautions and pit cycles have put him right back where he wanted to be. He's ahead of Doug Tuttle, up 12 spots from where he started in that number 86 machine for Age Unique Racing. Brad Slagle in the 052, sitting in the 13th spot ahead of Doug Betts, who's had an excursion going the wrong direction. He battles with the Daytona race winner James Wurtsema, sitting in the 15th spot. Wurtsema, JW Motorsports, 2 cars still in this field, just not the 2 cars we saw the start of the season with. Callie Bajent over in Las Vegas for Strain of Speed would have occupied the 41 car, but instead it's Josh Siegfried in the 10 for tonight's affairs. Gary Huffing spent some time getting that car repaired, that number 54 Toyota Supra. He's at 17th. Still positive from where he started this race, but looking for a little bit more. John Ledger struggling. You saw him tag the wall once again, number 25, as he tries to hold on there after already tagging the wall on the restart just a few laps ago. Jason Branch in 19th, trying to run away from Harley Barletta, who's had an interesting first 2 weeks in the Twiggy iRacing series. Rapidly approaching all of the race leaders coming to across the start finish line to start lap 62 of 200. Race leaders doing what they can here. Daffin and Watchorn once again within 0.3 of a second. Doing a phenomenal job here. And trying to set the pace. Luke Knupp doing what he can, but sitting a distant third ahead of Josh Siegfried. Weileman's dropped down to 5th in losing pace. Chris Howell got ahead of Brennan Gregg. Kyle Smith's gotten ahead of James Thompson. Thompson, you see that damage on that right front. He is struggling right now with a little bit of that damage. Go on board with him so you can see what that front damage looks like. There it is on that right front. That does have an effect on how that car is going to handle. Thomas Lane, also a little bit damaged, but has had the damage for longer, has not repaired that car. So he's had the ability to adjust to that and figure out what he needs to do to make that work. Sitting in the top 10 so far, got a half second between him and Jacob Elkins, the defending series champion. There's Elkins, also a little bit wrinkled up on that right front. See how it's not an even seam. And then obviously a gap here as Brad Slagle tries to get around the 17 of Josh Berry. Again, this is the battle at the front of the field. You got Daffin, Watchorn, and Knupp top 3. Siegfried in the 4th position. Then Weileman and Howell top 5. As they come up on, that is a 92 of Alex Martin. Martin's going to stay out of the way for the race leaders. Makes Watchorn's job a little bit easier. As they drive through turns 1 and 2. Here's where everyone's at the moment. Again, cars spread out throughout the track here. It's a mile-long lap. About 30 seconds, give or take, 29-second laps. So the field will spread out pretty quickly. Caution's out for the 6th time. It is for Doug Tuttle, who is now missing the front end of his number 86 machine. So for Age Unique Racing, it goes from bad to worse. First Alex Martin's day went bad, and now Doug Tuttle's. And here's what happened. Behind that number 54 coming out of turn 2. Both 54 and the 86 tagged the wall. And everyone doing a good job to avoid the spinning Doug Tuttle, who did not have a good time here. Right on board them. See, he was already carrying a little bit of damage here behind the 54. He just gets sent for a ride. So Tuttle comes in, as will most of the field. Alrighty. Sixth caution of the night. We're coming to lap 78 here at Phoenix. Again, for those sticking with us to the storm, we appreciate you spending your time here on ABN on a Friday evening. It's been a wild day. It's going to be a wild evening still. It's Daffin, Watchhorn, Knupp, Weileman, and Howell. Top 6. Green flag back in the air for the 6th time. We're back underway. And there's already a spin, and it is Tuttle. And there's more cars involved. Oh, a hard hit by Alex Martin. Both Agent 8 cars involved. The 052 of Slagle is also involved. Back-to-back problems here for the 86 machine, and this time multiple cars are involved. This one's a rough one. And it's a similar incident to what we saw take place with Doug Betts. Tuttle tries moving down the track here, and we'll go back here. Going on board with Tuttle, he tries coming down on Wurtsema here, because here's Wurtsema, and I guess we'll go blimp zoom here. Is it blimp or are we going to do chopper? We'll do chopper. We'll get a little bit closer. So Wurtsema is the pink in the black machine here, and we're going to pull out a little highlighter here. So here's Wurtsema, center of the circle, and then Tuttle's off to the right of him. And here's what happens. Tuttle just comes down the track. Netco takes care of the rest, but we've seen that a couple times here. And it's risky playing that game. Because you'll watch as everyone has to scramble here really quickly, and it just doesn't pan out. Just another example of drivers not giving each other enough space. And as a result, it might have put Doug Tuttle's race to a premature close. Pace car pulling off here for the 7th restart of this race. Down the back straightaway we go. It'll be Daffin, Knupp, Watchorn, Weileman, Howell, and Gregg in the top 6. Kyle Smith in 7th, Jacob Elkins 8th, Josh Siegfried 9th, and Doug Betts up to 10th spot. But here we go. For the 7th time, we're going to restart here at Phoenix. For everyone that stuck around, we appreciate you. Going through severe weather here in the ABN Center. We have passed the halfway point, but it's not been without its tribulations. We're on our 11th caution here at Phoenix for the TWIGI iRacing Series, Hades 200. And as we saw there in the replays, it's been a case of just drivers not giving each other space. Everyone doubling up here, and the lights on the pace car are still on. Drivers beginning to get impatient here. You can kind of understand why. We're down to 22 cars left running in this event. We've had a couple of longer green flag runs, but then we've had a lot of cautions peppered in the green flag laps. And for a lot of the drivers here, they're hoping for a little bit more like what we had at Atlanta, where we can finish this race with a long green flag run. Especially if you're Alec Daffin. Easiest chance to get a win here. Your main competition's not in the top 3 anymore. Weileman had a self-spin. Luke Knupp was involved in that last caution. Weileman's in the back of the field. This is a chance to get an easy win. Green flag back in the air. 90 laps to go. Looking at Josh Siegfried, who's made it back up in second place. It's Jason Branch in third, Chris Howell fourth, Brad Slagle up to fifth. Then it's Ledger, Elkins, Gregg, and Thompson in the top 9. Josh Berry somehow made it back up to 10th. Saw a little bit of slideways action there in the back of the field. I believe it was the 61 of Thompson and the 17 of Josh Berry that were getting a little bit slideways on the cusp of the top 10. Watchorn sitting in the 10th spot, trying to make his way forward. He's got to get through Brennan Gregg, his teammate Jacob Elkins, Brad Slagle. Oh, that was close. Watchorn up to 9th. Caution's out once again for the 12th time, and it is going to be for... We can figure out who it is here on our track map. It's Weileman and Gonzalez. Oh, and Weileman's got a lot of damage. Weileman looks like he may not be matching his career best finish here in Twiggy competition. Luigi Gonzalez seems to have had some play in that as well. A little bit of damage on that right front of the 24. So we'll see what happened. Actually, doesn't look like Gonzalez had anything to do with this one. Weileman, bounces off the 3 wide situation there, and Weileman just works one out of it. Another hard hit for Tuttle. And then there's Gonzalez. Gonzalez got a piece of it after Weileman bounced off of Tuttle. That's unfortunate there. So Gonzalez got damage as a bystander in that. The 54 of Gary Huffines will get the lucky dog here. The car is coming down pit lane. Tuttle in pit lane for what will be extended repairs on the number 86 machine. Weileman going to take some repairs as well. Josh Jernigan rolling the number 40 machine. Trying to get back out on track. He is going to put Chris Howell at the front of the field. New race leader for the first time in a while. Jason Branch second. Merrick Watchorn will be up into the 3rd spot. Luke Knupp, Brennan Gray, Kyle Smith, Doug Betts, Dennis Crosby, James Wurtzema, and Josh Siegfried will round out the top 10 for this upcoming restart. Pace car pulls in, coming to 81 laps to go. It's Howell, Branch, Watchorn, top 3. It's going to be an interesting restart here. See how it all plays out. Green flag back in the air. Branch got a shot from Luke Knupp, who did not go. So Watchorn moves up to 2nd, Greg to 3rd, Branch sits in 4th, but now you have to wonder if there's any damage on that 1 or that 11 that may affect them. Another shot from Knupp to the 11 of Branch. Doug Betts slides in front of Knupp, and Luke Knupp moves down to the bottom. Alec Daffin pit for tires. And he's going to try to make as many positions as he can. Watchorn's taking the lead here. Battling with Chris Howell as they sit side by side out of turn 2. The Watchhorn has taken the lead from Chris Howell, who is now the only barrier between Watchhorn and Alec Daffin, who wants to go back to the race lead. Daffin and Siegfried both pit on lap 116. Watchhorn pit on lap 108, and Chris Howell has not pit since lap 98. Brennan Gregg also pit on 98. 103 for Luke Knupp, Jacob Elkins on lap 116. So some varied pit stops here as Daffin makes it look pretty easy getting around Howell, as Siegfried's going to try to do the same here. Siegfried gets around Howell. So here we go. Still game on here at Phoenix. Watchhorn leads over Daffin, but Daffin's closed the gap down significantly. Daffin's going to make pretty quick work here, I believe, of Watchhorn. The Watchhorn's been passed by Daffin here. Siegfried trying to do the same. Siegfried trying to hold on to that number 48 of Alec Daffin. Luke Knupp in the 4th spot. Watchhorn trying to defend, doing a really good job defending from Siegfried. Luke Knupp sitting in there in 4th. Then you have Chris Howell in 5th, Jacob Elkins in 6th, and Brennan Gray, Kyle Smith, John Ledger, and James Thompson top 10. This is a battle for that 5th spot between Howell and Elkins. Elkins trying to get that 5th spot, will do so. And Howell quick to cover off from the 18 of Brennan Gregg. Brennan Gregg trying to get around Chris Howell here, using the dog leg to try to do that. Making some progress, but it's letting Jacob Elkins slip away here into that 5th position pretty firmly with less than 70 laps to go. Watchhorn still defending from Siegfried. Watching out, we're watching as Watchorn and Siegfried continue to battle it out. Luke Knupp and Jacob Elkins sitting in 4th and 5th. Chris Howell still defending from Brennan Gregg here. Kyle Smith sitting in the 8th spot. John Ledger in 9th. James Thompson in the 10th spot on debut. Ahead of Josh Berry and Doug Betts. Doug Betts has fought so hard to claw back to where he was earlier in this race. It has been a wild time for Doug Betts here at Phoenix. Battle there, that is Barry trying to defend for that 11th spot. Actually trying to go for 10th place here from James Thompson, who's going to use the outside lane to hold on to it here. Thompson running on the 10th, just barely. Jason Branch a little bit further behind as Barry's going to go for that 10th spot. Still a close battle. Contact between Barry and Thompson, and it's actually going to let Doug Betts take that 10th spot away. So Betts moves to 10th, Ledger in 9th, chasing down Kyle Smith and Chris Howell. Brennan Gregg's gotten ahead of Chris Howell here. Watchorn, however, has completely stifled any momentum that Josh Siegfried's been able to pull together, battling to hold on to the 2nd spot. We're approaching 50 to go here in a few laps here. 55 laps to go as it currently sits. Looking at this potentially being the longest run we've had all race long, green flag wise. Watchorn just trying to hold on to that 2nd spot. There will be another pit stop cycle, I believe, in this race. Watchorn at this point has held on to that 2nd place, and is what he's really done is he's completely neutralized the advantage that Siegfried had tire wise. And as Daff begins dealing with lap traffic, you'd have to wonder how much it kind of plays into Watchhorn's strengths here, knowing he's got that extra set of tires to play with. Watchhorn coming up on lap traffic here. That is Gonzalez on the 24. I believe that is the 54 of Huffings. It is the 54. Lap traffic still in the way. Daffin's gotten through that. There's Daffin there in the 48. Watchhorn in the 91. Trying to get around that is the 40 of Jernigan. And the 052 of Brad Slagle. Slagle sitting 15th. Jernigan 16th. Just now going a lap down here. John Ledger trying to move up to 9th place on Chris Howell. Three battle for the 3rd spot. It's Watchhorn, Siegfried, and Knupp. Watchhorn trying to hold on to a 2nd spot still. At this point, it's got to be a little bit more comfortable for Watchhorn going this distance. The gap between Daffin and Watchhorn is down between 2 seconds now. Siegfried still sitting in 3rd. Again, his entire advantage neutralized. Luke Knupp is pulled into this conversation with Watchhorn and Siegfried, and Luke Knupp is on the oldest tires of the 3. So that, I think, says a lot about where Knupp is on his tire wear right now. Daffin back out in clean air, trying to open the gap up a little bit more. Ooh, Watchhorn overdrives that a lot through turns 1 and 2. Begin to feel the age of those tires as we approach the 40 lap to go mark in a couple laps. Coming to 41 laps to go. Looking at this gap come and go, Luke Knupp losing a little bit of time here to the battle with Siegfried and Watchorn. Daffin, importantly, is beginning to lose time again as well. It's come down to 1.8 seconds here with less than 40 to go. Definitely seems like Daffin's having a harder time through turns 3 and 4. So you see the cars that Watchorn's going to have to start dealing with here in just a couple laps. Right now, Watchorn stays in second ahead of Siegfried, ahead of Knupp. Jacob Elkins in the 5th spot, the defending series champion. We got to run Jason Branch there, the number 11 car. Gap's down to 1.7 seconds. Watchorn staying in on the outside lane here. Branch on fresher tires, I do believe. Yes, he is. He put on lap 159. He put on about 10 laps ago. So he's actually on his way back through the field. Watchorn not making it too difficult for that number 11 machine. It does bear the question. If you have a pit stop to make, when do you make it? Watchorn getting around the 61 of Thompson. Thompson setting in 12th on debut. Not a bad run for him. Chris Howell on fresher tires at number 88. That could be an interesting threat. Kyle Smith is in pit lane. So some of the cars that were in the top 10 have made that pit stop already. And with about 30 laps to go, now it becomes interesting to see who covers it off and when. Luke Knupp comes in, so now people may have to start forcing their hands. Luke Knupp is in, Kyle Smith is in, same with John Ledger. Strategy call here. Luke Knupp came in, he had 5 laps older tires than Watchorn. Watchorn has 8 laps fresher tires than Daffin. It's gonna be something. More drivers coming in, Daffin comes in, Daffin covers it off. So Watchorn now back to the lead. Elkins will sit second. Brennan Gregg comes down pit lane. Josh Berry stays on the lead lap, albeit during the cycle. And Berry comes in. So Brad Slagle is 1 lap down here. Watchorn and Elkins, they both have to come in. Watchorn comes in here. Elkins will follow suit. So now the big question, you look at the one of Luke Knupp, who came in earliest of everyone in this group. Luke Knupp, does he take the race lead here? Oh, he spins! He spins! Caution's out! Caution's out for the one! And that makes things a little more complicated. He was going to inherit the lead of this race, and he spins it out of turn 4. That changes everything. Luke Knupp had a direct shot at the race lead with less than 30 laps to go. And an untimely spin gives Merrick Watchorn the race lead over Alec Daffin, Brad Slagle, Jacob Elkins. Luke Knupp stays in the top 5. Josh Jernigan is 6th. Kyle Smith is 7th. Josh Siegfried in 8th. Then it's Brennan Gregg. Jason Branch, the luckiest of everyone in that group, was on the lead lap and gets a free pit stop out of that. 17 cars will wind up on the lead lap, I believe. Actually, give me a second to make sure. No, we will have 13 cars on lead lap. My apologies. This will be an interesting restart. Watchorn, Daffin, Elkins, Knupp. Top 4 as we approach the restart zone. Green flag back in the air, 24 laps to go. Watchorn, Elkins, Daffin is the order of the top 3. Daffin's going to try as quickly as possible to try to dispatch the 91. Oh, slide and a spin. That's Brad Slagle. 14th caution of the night. We saw it in the background there. Brad Slagle out of turn 2. It's been a problem. So Brad Slagle causing the 14th caution of the night. Kyle Smith comes back in for a fresh set of tires to try to start off this mad dash for the finish. Jason Branch gets the lucky dog. Jernigan comes down pit lane, number 40. We'll have 12 cars on the lead lap. Josh Siegfried, the first car a lap down. Then it's Dennis Crosby, James Thompson, Doug Betts, James Wurtsema. With Luigi Diaz-Gonzalez and Gary Huffines 18th and 19th. John Bawada sticking it out. Currently got a top 20. Scavenging some points. It's what you need to do. Going for the 14th restart of this race. It's Watchorn, Daffin, Knupp, Elkins, Gregg, Slagle. They were back underway. Luke Knupp going to try to be a menace there for Daffin in the number 1. Getting up to 3rd there pretty quickly, clearing Brennan Gregg. Gonna try to pressure him. He will pressure him here. Knupp looking for 2nd place. Sends it to the inside. Daffin now has to play defensive. 19 laps to go. Daffin lets it hang out. Watchorn can take it a little bit easier. Daffin sends it in through 1 and 2. Gets a little bit loose there in 1 and 2. On the ragged edge. Watchorn looking for race win number 17. Luke Knupp looking for his first win. Daffin looking for his 2nd. And Daffin trying to let it all hang out. Watchorn being a little bit more conservative here. 17 to go. Passes around this track can take so long when you're on level footing. And that's where we're at right now. Daffin did just set the fastest lap of the race, a 27.61. So, here we go. Keeping on, number 1, Luke Knupp. All 3 of these drivers familiar with each other elsewhere. But we're on different territory. Daffin trying to claw a little bit closer. Watchorn and Daffin were level that lap. What did it look like across the line this time? All 3 of the top 3 completely level. 15 to go. $15 to go. Brennan Gregg sitting a distant 4th ahead of Jacob Elkins. The battle for the top 3 is between the 3 on your screen. $14 laps. If things stay green, we are 7 minutes from determining who wins the 3rd race of the season. Merrick Watchorn took a risk. Came in later on a green flag pit stop cycle. Luke Knupp, his half spin when he was about to inherit the race lead, threw out the caution, gave Watchorn the race lead on pit lane. And now all 3 of them on level footing, trying to make something happen here. Track position is key here in these cars. Watchorn has it. Daffin wants it. Luke Knupp trying to hassle Daffin for a piece of the pie. Coming to 12 laps to go. Fastest lap that time was Luke Knupp, but barely. Daffin beginning to struggle here. The more time he spends behind that number 91 of Watchorn. We're approaching the final 10 laps here at Phoenix. It's been a grueling endurance race in the desert. Watchorn looking for his 17th race win in the TWIGI iRacing Series. The 2021 Series champion, trying to become a 2-time champion. What a way if we can kick off the season with 2 wins in 3 races. It's been a wild race between thunderstorms, technical glitches, and driver frustrations. 9 laps to go. Someone's earning this one. Watchorn's got it. Daffin wants it. We'll look back at Daffin from Watchorn. And that gap, it looks enormous, but it's not. 4/10 can be gained and lost in one mistake. Winningest driver in series history. Trying to make something happen here. Eight laps to go. Daffin trying to claw it back here. The more Daffin overdrives it, the better it is for Luke Knupp, and the easier it gets for Merrick Watchorn with 7 laps to go. Watchorn opening up more of a gap here. All three drivers looking for something to try to secure themselves a victory here. It's 5 laps to go. Further on down, this is a battle. John Ledger in the 25 will lose a spot to Jason Branch. Tag the wall out of 4. 17 to Josh Berry. Trying to hassle here. Doug Betts, first car lap down, was hoping for another caution to get that the lucky dog, get that free pass. But it may not happen. 29 cars started this race. 20 cars remain. Merrick Watchorn comes to 3 laps to go, 90 seconds from his second race win of the season and his 17th career win in the series. Watchorn, Daffin, Knupp sits the top 3. Without something dramatic happening, that's how this top 3 is going to sit. Two laps to go. Rolling through the corner. Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go here in Phoenix. Merrick Watchorn has it. Daffin was trying everything he could. He's fallen back to 7/10. Merrick Watchorn's looking for it. Overdrives turn 1 and 2 just a little bit, but he's got that space to make it happen. Down the back straightaway for the final time through turns 3 and 4. Merrick Watchorn make it 17 career victories. Merrick Watchorn wins at Phoenix. "17 career victories." Merrick, this is Carmen Hardy, if you got a copy. Alrighty, Merrick, it was a wild race. Obviously, a very intense race for you. You got to see both being at the front and being at the rear of the field. But your 17th career win, second of the season. How's it feel?
I'm gonna say straight up, I did not deserve that win. Alec definitely deserved it. I just knew I was faster on the fresher tires, and on the short run, I knew I had him. And after I had some nose damage early on, when the three of us were like battling, and we disappeared that one time, and we had Doug Tuttle in front of me. I slammed his rear, and then that was, I basically was playing management with my engine temps and my water temps for the whole time. But if I got fresh air, if I got out there in the fresh air, I could literally keep my temps low enough for a good solid 30-lap run. So I'm just happy that I got my 17th win. Definitely a good thing, good feeling moving forward. But I'm not gonna lie to you when I say I did not deserve that win. Alec Dafflin was the class of the field, so was Luke. I mean, those guys were giving me a run for my money, so gotta give it to them.
Obviously, you look at how Phoenix played out, and just a contrast from how Atlanta was last week. First short oval race of the season for most of the field. We go into Iowa, which is even shorter. What do you take away from Phoenix tonight? Obviously, looking at tire wear, because we did have that long run there at the end that forced the green flag pit stops where he got the race lead. What do you take going into Iowa next weekend to try to? Obviously, you look at the deficit. Daffin had the fastest lap, but you had the position, you had the strategy call there. How do you shore that up to make it even more of a surefire thing for you? And obviously, Jacob Elkins, his best finish this season in 5th. How do you make that better for next week, going off of what you saw tonight?
It's just going to come down to being consistent, really and honestly. Like, that's the bread and butter of this league right now with how we set up the points and everything else. So, like I said from the week before Atlanta, after I won that race, I'm not really expecting, to go in there winning. My whole point is just trying to find out what works best for me and how I can be up there and, be there at the end. But with how Southern National went, I'm kind of hoping we kind of keep it a little bit green. We get some green runs at Iowa. You can kind of go 3 wide there, span away from each other, and kind of go into the corners knowing that you have a better idea of where everyone's at. With Phoenix, I mean, you got that dog, like, you can go all the way to the wall. I did that a couple times myself to gain some massive positions to go up towards the front with Luke in tow. And so it's just, this time around, we're not going to be all the way down off the racing surface for all intents and purposes, battling out, going for the win. So hopefully we can go to Iowa with better understanding of qualifying. We kind of fell apart on qualifying this time around. So let's I didn't really like my position and kind of put me at a disadvantage early on. So hopefully we can move back past that and push forward.
Obviously, it's always good continuing that milestone. Obviously, we got to see you win last week and using strategy and obviously a little bit of luck there with the caution coming out during the pit cycles. You're able to get race win number 17. So congratulations on that. Before we let you go and relax and unwind, obviously an over 2-hour race in itself, and you've been on track practicing and qualifying for well over 3. If there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations on still a well-deserved race win, because Daffin and Knupp had to chase you down, and you held them off for the remaining 25 laps. So congratulations on that. The floor is yours. Does anyone to shout out? How about it?
To capture the occasion, I use them as my main sponsor for tonight, just to change it up. If it ain't orange, it ain't no Supra, So I was kind of going with that idea. So I want to thank Quantum Security Alliance, the Watch Renovations Group Incorporated, and then of course, I want to thank my admins and thank everyone coming out every weekend and week out. I think we kind of went low because everyone kind of went to Vegas, so our numbers kind of dropped this time around. But hopefully, everyone will come back tomorrow or next week and come out stronger and better than ever. So we had a 30-car field, so we lost 7 of our part-timers, I believe, for other reasons, and so let's hopefully I can get it squared away, and hopefully we can be talking to you next week as well.
Well, obviously, you're setting up a really good trend. We heard from you in the Clash. We heard from you last week. I got you tonight. So, congratulations on the race win. And if we don't see you at some point before then, good luck at Iowa next week.
Thank you so much, Carmen.
That was Merrick Watchorn, our race winner here tonight. It looks like we're not going to get interviews here. Everyone's about to start debriefing this race here. Again, 14 cautions, a little bit more than what they were hoping for. Obviously, Merrick Watchorn's going to get into that with the drivers and kind of figure out what was going on here. But what a wild run. It was an interesting race here as we broke down into it. We'll go over the full race results. Here's what it looked like. Merrick Watchorn won this race ahead of Alec Daffin. Luke Knupp finished in third. Brennan Gregg in fourth place ahead of Jacob Elkins, with Chris Howell in the sixth position. Kyle Smith, another top 10 for him, finishing up in seventh place tonight after being wrong way around in this race. Jason Branch, Josh Berry, John Ledger, Joshua Jernigan, Brad Slagle, Josh Siegfried, top 13. Siegfried, the first car a lap down. Doug Betts a lap down as well. James Thompson in 15th. Dennis Crosby in 16th ahead of James Wurtsema and Luigi Diaz Gonzalez in 18th spot. 20 cars saw the checkered flag here tonight. Looking a little further down, Gary Huffines took the checkered flag, as did John Buwalda with a very torn up race car. Doug Tuttle did not get to see the finish in that number 86 for Agent Inc. Racing. Brady Weileman also did not get to see the finish. Neither did Thomas Lane Jr., Ian Ogden, Harley Barletta, Alex Martin, James Mugen, and Jack Stanley. Those were the retirements in this race. Tomorrow night, we hope for clearer skies, and we hope for just a little bit calmer atmosphere, Mother Nature permitting. Tomorrow night, it's the ARCS Saturday Night Showdown Series from Bristol Motor Speedway. We stay in the short track action. You're going to be seeing short track racing all week this week, and most of it's going to be here. So tomorrow night, it's going to be at Bristol. Sunday night is going to be at Las Vegas for the ARCS A-Square Cup Series, and then Monday night, we'll be here from Phoenix for the HTL Cup Series. But on behalf of everyone here on ABN, on behalf of the TWIGI iRacing Series, and all the drivers here from Phoenix, I'm Carmen Hardy. Thank you all for sticking it out with us here on a very Mother Nature-interfered Friday evening. Stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun this weekend if we don't see you before Monday. But until then, we'll see you next time.